Godzilla franchise is a Japanese and American tokusatsu franchise created by Toho and Ishiro Honda. The King of the Monsters was born from the fear of the atomic bomb after World War II. The franchise is split up in 4 eras: Showa, Heisei, Millennium, and Reiwa, with 2 different American-based series. Spanning 36 movies and a few shows, Godzilla has become one of the most popular and influential franchises. The Showa era opens up the franchise, starting in 1954 with Gojira and ends in 1975 with Terror of Mechagodzilla. The original 1954 movie Gojira, or Godzilla, is about the creature waking up from the ocean because of several nuclear testings in the ocean to terrorize Japan and cause death and destruction. The movie came to America as well, becoming an Americanized film named Godzilla King of the Monsters. Although this is considered the saddest film in the franchise, almost the entire Showa era is more comedic in nature than serious. These films also set up much of Godzilla's lore, introducing most of the fan-favorite monsters like the 3-headed menace Ghidorah, the biggest support Mothra, and establish the connection of Godzilla and King Kong. In 1984, the Heisei era begins with Godzilla 1984, or otherwise known as The Return of Godzilla. This was essentially a reboot to the franchise after laying dormant for several years. Return of the Godzilla was more of a sequel to the 1954 original and completely ignores the events of the Showa era. This era is much more of a singular story, with every movie following the previous film and referencing each other, releasing only 7 films in total, ending with Godzilla vs. Destoroyah in 1995. This series of films are often beloved by casual and hardcore fans alike, as they expanded the lore of Godzilla and are often felt as a modern-feeling set of films. In 1999, Toho rebooted the franchise again with the Millennium era, starting with Godzilla 2000. Returning back to his terror days, Godzilla fights the Japanese government and aliens. This set of films is more of an anthology film series rather than being like the Heisei films. The only films in this series that have actual continuity are Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS. The movies end with 2004's Final Wars, which came out on the franchise's 50th anniversary, bringing in everything from the franchise, including 1998 American Godzilla. The modern era of films have been more scattered and different than the original movies. This era began with 2016's Shin Godzilla. This film is probably the most different than any of the other previous ones, being directed by Hideaki Anno, who created the incredible and devastating Neon Genesis Evangelion, a movie about Godzilla being born from nuclear waste and causing nothing but death and destruction towards Japan. In 2016, a series of animated movies started coming out, being named Godzilla Monster Planet. This series follows a future in which Godzilla has wiped out the Earth and rules the planet, with some human survivors fighting to take back the planet. An actual anime was announced in 2020 named Godzilla Singular Point, being another new take on Godzilla and his giant line of monsters. As of time of recording, it has not been released yet. In America, we got Godzilla films as well, both original and edits of original films. Most of the movies we got had an English dub, or like the case of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, we got completely new edits and additions to the films. In 1998, TriStar Productions produced the film Godzilla, a completely American-made film that provided a new take on the iconic monster. Unfortunately, this film is incredibly negatively panned by critics and fans alike. This movie does have an animated series that ties directly in and acts as a sequel to the movie, often being called better than the initial movie. More recently, we have gotten Legendary's Monsterverse series of films, but it's not for this video yet. Godzilla has had a long history in film, but luckily, he's had a mostly fun and awesome history. The franchise is incredibly popular, loved by fans old and young alike. Even if you haven't watched the movies, you still think he's the coolest thing, cause it's a giant dino who wrecks things. Godzilla is one of those franchises that I will love until the end of my days. The movies are fun as hell and just are some great movies. Even the bad ones are great to watch. There are a lot of releases for these movies, so if you want to watch them, they are absolutely worth seeking out.